What's going on, guys? Welcome to everyone to the SEDL Season 3, and I'm here with Drew and David, and we're here to do the PRs for the draft and the weekly schedule. So,
So,
go ahead.
Reese, coach of the
Alright,
London Tigers. That's a VK. Next up,
what?
You're next. That's
David,
you.
introduce yourself.
Oh, no, I couldn't hear you guys. Go on. And I'm David. I don't know.
Here, guys.
Anyways,
Here's the team.
Um,
Two players in the league.
we'll go straight up to
uh,
the PRs. Let's get into them. So we
yeah,
have the first team
yeah.
here on the screen. We have 8 teams in this league. This is going to
Uh,
be the first team we're going to go over. Go ahead.
yeah. This is eighth place as Alice the Fairthorn.
And their team,
Uh,
the Cornish
yeah.
Courtfish.
And the corn corefishes. Um, we technically decided to put their team somewhat towards the end. Because we looked at their team based off of, I guess, like move pools and I guess removal because most mons use Eviolite. Two of them can. Uh, Lacking good like knockoff mons, I guess, like as in Orcat. Um,
Yeah, and another thing I think
eh,
is the momentum is kind of lacking. Like the only one U-turn mod kind of puts this team in a bad place, or can, like, if you don't have a switch into something, you can't click U-turn or click flip turn or click volt switch. It's just really hard to get into
yeah,
something to take a hit.
What I'm seeing this team, honestly, is defensive utility. There's just a lot of guys here who might hit kind of hard, get your Puchiana, your Mankey, your Joltik, but none of them switch into anything. You got like your Torracat and your Dartrix, maybe in the back your Grimer for Bebe, but like that's it. The rest of your guys need so much help getting in, and that just kind of sucks.
Yeah, and I think, I
yeah.
mean, there are some like good things. Like the Torracat can be good, and can be really good. And again, obviously it was a tier one
Torracat
for a
is
reason.
Torracat's a really amazing speedster. Honestly, it's got sort of dance. It's good coverages, good offense with 85, and having two 90 speed Pokemon is honestly really good. There are not many Pokemon in this league with high speed, especially 90.
Right.
All right. I guess that concludes the Alice, and then we can move on to super famous guy.
Here's gonna be their team coming up now.
Their team name is Richmond Riolus.
Yep. So
All right.
this team
I
definitely does better in the hazards department. I mean, 4 stealth rockers, and they obviously have spikes, toxic spikes, and webs. Still two options for removal, which in like Paldea in general, removal is really hard to come by, and especially in low tier. So having at least an option to rapid spin and an option to defog can be good. The one thing that stuck out to me to this team though is the ground weakness that it has, and like half of the members are weak to ground, and the ones that aren't, besides Rufflet, like the resist is Grovyle, and which, I mean, it has not very good physical bulk, so like a strong ground type could probably two shot it. Not that there are a ton of them, but it's just like a big ground weakness.
I
one
do
thing
in
I will
fact agree.
say, you know,
Okay, I do in fact agree with the very strong ground type weakness against this. Yes, there's a Terra Glimmet. I guess that's how you say it. Even though it can Terra like Growlithe, Hisui, uh, Tentacruel, and Tinkaton, like this like super weak mons, like where's the bulk besides like I guess Eviolite Charge a Bug or something like that? Like
Yeah, that's
there's really no bulk, I guess. Like you're mostly just here to just do like very strong attacks and just try to win quickly as possible, especially with a Grovile plus well, mostly just the top three just to go in and sweep things as like quick as possible, especially with webs from Chargebug.
yeah, the defense is really what sets things apart from the lower to the higher end teams. But this one's a little higher, maybe because of the sheer power of Morales, Hisui, Eric Glimmet, and Grovile just being able to end games a lot faster. So I think that the power on this team really good. Defensive and stuff, not so much. Hey, if you can play that game, then all the better for you. Win before you lose.
That's a valid point.
Yeah.
But
All right. Oh, sorry.
no, you're good. I was gonna say,
You can go.
moving on
No.
to,
No.
I was gonna move
Oh,
us on to the
yeah,
next
yeah. I
team.
was gonna say let's move on as well.
Yep,
Yeah. All
our
right.
the team that is in
Um.
sixth place in our power rankings, the Potomac Panchams.
Yeah.
All right, so
Um.
let me start off because I think this team has a lot of really good Pokemon. Like offensively, you got an Alakid. Even just bulky attackers like Munchlax. Reboot is obviously amazing because everything whatever. I do not think that's that's a good cloak. Is a good round one Pokemon. And 102 base speed is amazing. It's obviously like a mini Dragon Ball here just off of its speed alone. But it's not that offensive. It's
Yeah, I feel like it kind of
there's a
has.
lot more to give.
I was gonna say it
The
has.
cloak is more of a support
No, yeah,
bot.
yeah. It has a similar problem to like. I mean, Dragapult doesn't have really have this problem, but like, it has higher attack, but the actual physical attacks it gets are just not that good. Like
Yeah, right.
Dragapult is a little bit better when in like it, but it can very easily run mixed or just straight special. Like the special attack being 60 isn't really great. 80 attack is fine, but like it doesn't. I don't think it gets Dragon Darts right. It doesn't get that till Dragapult. So like
No, you gotta run outrage.
right, so it just really you really struggle to find the offensive moves to use, which is it can be used in support, but as like that tier one pick, like I just feel like you have other options for support mons, and it's just not the best tier one there was out there. You know what I mean?
Does feel like a waste. Yeah. I will say though, aside from
Um.
that, the team is honestly solid. What you saying something, David?
Yeah. I was looking at the Cub Fu. Is that like I never looked into the Mon. I don't know if that Mon actually has moves, but like,
Upper has like effectively the same coverage as Extra. It has a lot of really good coverage.
all
That
right.
thing was actually
Um,
eligible to be a Terra Captain. I don't know why it isn't. I feel like it
yeah.
always
Um,
about anything.
I mean, also to say, looking at the type wise and everything, like everything's like evenly spread out. Um, the Grassmon there's very interesting. I mean, it's a good pick. Just I think if you're gonna try to Terra them on to set it up, it's gonna be like a little bit of an issue because like it is pretty slow with a 35 base speed, so you're gonna need at least a Trailblazer or two to
I just
actually
said
get faster than a few things.
And the other
I
thing
think
though
about
is like
Electrifying.
yeah, but also it's just not bulky. Like it's being slow is fine. Like Munchlax is
Yeah.
fine when it's slow because it has the bulk, but like Cacnea has like no bulk. It's really frail. So even when you Terra,
Hmm.
just because like maybe you Terra to resist something, you might still get 2-hit KO'd because it really has no bulk. And I guess Eviolite could help fix it a little bit, but then you're using one of your two Eviolites that you get on your whole team, which in this case have way better options like the Marshtomp, the Munchlax, the Golett, things like that that can actually take a hit.
Yeah,
Maybe
especially
a
with
bit
the
biased.
late mom. Like what you were saying, like Marshtomp and like Munchlax is like a very good Eviolite mon, especially with like Swablu, because does that mon get Dragon Dance? No, right?
I don't know. I don't think Swablu
I
gets
think
it.
it's hard
Uh,
to.
Alright, well, if not, then I'm crazy. But,
Something else. Something else I want to point out about this team real quick. First of all, there is no grounded poison, so you're not getting rid of toxic spikes by yourself. And the only removal is Swablu,
Yep.
which, in my opinion, is I don't want to say a non-Pokemon because it has bulk, but like
yeah.
inconsistent. It's not much of a guy. And if it was Dragon Flying, it might have been a bit better. It's just a good defensive typing, but normal flying is not good.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't have too much of a defensive utility, I guess. And that, like,
Especially since it's
obviously,
less
it can
magic.
probably get destroyed by an easy, like, close combat or something like that. What, is it weak to fighting?
Yeah.
No.
It's
Okay, no,
neutral.
never
It's
mind.
neutral. But
Um, yeah.
the other
You
thing
get what I'm trying to say.
is this team though is really fast. Like NFE doesn't have a ton of high speed, but this team's got 102, 95, and 94. And like for a lot of teams, that is really hard to keep up with.
This guy
Mm-hmm.
sniped like 10 of my guys. I wanted Kubfu. I wanted Reboot. Easy, fast guys. Stop hogging them.
All right.
Um, I guess that
Alright.
concludes this team, and then we can move on to the next one.
Number 5, we have David here, and he's here with us. So we'll let you start. Like, talk about. I would say talk about like your thought process, like drafting the team a little bit.
Um, well, immediately when I got first pick, I already looked at the tier list and I was like, I see Sliggoo, so I was like, I'm just gonna go with that because Eviolite with that mod is like very strong and everything and like very hard to deal with.
Hmm.
Um, and then I seen Pikachu as well, which is like obviously very great, has great physical and special attacks and good stats overall. And then more down the line, I was like, I know I need like defensive mons and everything, so I went like towards Dolive. And then obviously more down, you see a Crocolore. And then I was like, I need more attacks, so I went to Shell Smash, Shelder and Mischief. I think that's how you say it. And it was just like I need strong attacks and everything, so I just like have two, three great defensive mons, and then the rest is mostly just there for attacks and just letting off like very big hits mostly. Oh, and a rapid spinner, of course.
Yeah, that having the rapid spinner is good, but at the same because at the same time, like there's just not a lot of rapid spin available. Uh, it just
Yeah,
so having rapid spinner definitely good.
it
Unfortunate that Starly
especially
lost
like
defog.
oh sorry
You're good.
yeah
Um,
um there was like very lack of rapid spinners towards the end of the draft, so it was mostly just defoggers, I guess. Yeah.
yeah. The other
You're
thing.
right.
Go ahead, Drew.
There you go. Oh, sorry. You going? You're not going?
No, you
Me?
go. You go. You go ahead.
Yeah. You can go.
Alright, so I think this team is like it's got some roles that don't really work. Like, how do I explain it? Your team first, it's got like Pikachu and Shelter, who are like real offense guys, and they're on the Voltwick heavy team. But then you have your Sliggity and your Dollar, who like really slow down games. They're like on the bulky teams, and Crocodile as well, I guess. But Crocodile can do some funny setup. Like the team wants to do a lot of things, and I don't really know. Also, the your hazard game, no grounded poison type. I'm calling out any team who doesn't have one. And your
Yeah,
spinner
I know.
especially, it's fine. It's a good spinner, I guess. But on a team with, I guess a tier one Crocodile, maybe there could be more.
Yeah.
That's about it. Hazard's game is actually really good on this team. Got your spikes, block sticky web bot,
I
round
got
turret.
no rocks though.
Yeah, it's
No
a little
rocks.
unfortunate.
That is a bit wait. This team has no rocks. Uh, yeah, I don't know. This team
Yeah,
seems like it wants to do a lot of.
But is that it? Or
yes,
does anybody else have anything to say about my team?
I think we covered everything. Yeah.
Alright, we can move on to the next team, which is the Los Angeles Lanterns.
This team has way too
Alright,
many stalls. I thought I got a lot
yes.
of stage two NFEs. Looks like I got this Crocodile, this Flappy, Fletchinder, Floette. It's just a lot of guys with stats. That's just a thing, like first look.
This this team, by like just looking at it like straight up to begin with, you see three good mons to like that it can easily like somewhat win the games immediately, with the top two being Dragonair and Crocolore, and then the Terra Teddiursa. And especially having like a Terra Marini and then a Bronzor and then a Wish support is like that is a very nice strong core there. And I think like you going against this, you got to think of everything like that you would have to like go against, because there's a lot of mix-ups that you can do with this team, especially with a
I
Shuppet.
think
Like
this
that Shuppet
team,
can come out of nowhere.
I think this team does well, and how I think this format should be played is you just get the good tier one, and then you get for your lower pick guys that support the tier one. You
Right.
got like your Bronzor, who's your hella freaking utility bot. It can get up your screens, it can hazard up whatever it wants. But Shinder's a nice pivot to physical attackers. It obviously has U-turn, flame body for burning. Floette is the same thing with baton pass and with support. And it's
I
all for
think
the
Baton
work
Pass
of
is banned
Dragonair and
actually.
Crocodile. Right? Oh,
Sorry,
well,
I think Dry Pass is. I think Dry Pass is banned.
you guys talk. We
Hold
can
on.
fact check that.
You said dry pass. I thought there's.
Yeah, no, never mind. Dry Pass is actually allowed.
So yeah.
That
Alright,
pass is allowed.
that
Don't call me out on that.
my bad.
You good?
So
You good?
one thing though that I did notice with this team, I know we only get two Eviolites, but like I feel like knockoff is an important part of like any Pokemon team, especially where
Absolutely. Yeah.
Eviolites are all over the place.
Yeah.
And not having it at all, unfortunately, obviously Crocorock Lot doesn't have it, but
No, Crocodile has it.
oh, does
Yeah,
it?
no, no.
It's okay. I don't know
Every
Yeah,
why.
that's what I
mon
was
can
gonna say.
hold.
Crocodile is an amazing,
I don't know why
like
it's
the
not
best
popping up on
Pokemon.
the dock.
Yeah.
That's all. It's just for some reason the dock is not
Every
registering
mon
it.
can
But
hold Eviolite.
no, but I'm saying
I
we
don't
only
think
get
there's a
two
lot of
per
people.
match.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not popping up. This is
Um.
Crocorock doesn't have it there on the dock there.
I think
But
Doc doesn't update for the
Oh.
DLC.
but anyways, all right then with Crocorock, it's probably like one of the best knockers in the game with that if it has it or that it has it.
Yeah, no, that Crocodile is an absolute value pick of the game.
Absolutely.
I think.
And the only reason I wouldn't put this team above the rest is honestly because Electabuzz and Magmar are allowed.
Yeah.
Those guys win games. And
I also like again. I know removal is hard to come by, but just having defog could really limit you. Fletchinder probably has to run boots a
Mhm.
lot if it comes.
that's all it has to. Like Dragonair and Crocodile are your win cons. And
That's
maybe
true.
a well played Teddiursa.
Yeah,
And
fair enough.
I think that's enough. This team is like good. This team is really good.
Yep.
I don't got too much bad to say about
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Let's move on to our top three. Number three, we have the
it. I like the Buzz. Literally just
Minneapolis
like no, let
Absolutes.
me stop.
Yeah. All right. We have Absolute Flame as the. I don't know how you say that.
Minneapolis Absolutes is what that would be.
Thank you.
Yep. So yeah, Electabuzz obviously super strong. Um, although I know Ghastly is that the like
Let me tell you about Gasly because I had Gasly last season.
yeah
This guy, you think he only blows stuff up with his high special base, 100 base special attack.
yeah
The 80 speed with stuff like Will-O-Wisp and Destiny Bond and other weird disruption moves like that. This guy, like, you don't think about that when you think about switching into a Gatsby, and it helps,
yep
especially with a Terra captain. I don't think he doesn't have a switching. I don't think he does.
Yeah, especially if you can get up like a nasty plot, maybe. Like, I like obviously scaring your opponent out with whatever mon's in front of it, and then you can probably just nuke it. You can easily just get like a free nasty plot off, maybe, and then whatever terror you are, if it's good against in the matchup, then just click it mostly because your Ghastly can win a game all the time, probably just with a nasty plot or maybe even specs most of the time as well. And
Right, right.
also,
Obviously,
yeah. Another thing about this
um,
team, so is that it only has defog, right? Two defoggers, but they don't have a lot
mhm,
of hazards to begin with. And in a metagame where hazards are not a necessity, like in Paldea, hazards like having removal and having hazards is like not as prevalent as it has been in the past. So they don't have a lot of options to set up their own hazards. They have they have one rocker, one spiker, and one mon that can set sticky webs. So like having defog as your only removal is not actually terrible if you're not really setting your own hazards. And he has
here's
two
my take on
options.
most of the
that.
yeah.
I think that first of all, and when it comes to spikes, and I think that's all you need in this generation.
Right.
Glidden is one of the best spikers in the format, I think, especially when it's pairing with Electabuzz. Anything that doesn't want to switch it, anything that switches into Electabuzz is all switched right into Glidden. Glidden checks just about anything that Electabuzz does, and that's just three spikes every time.
Yep.
Now, what I
Yeah.
do agree with you, or what I do agree, yeah, out with you on, is the default thing. If you have this spiker, you need rapid spin because you want those spikes to stay on your opponent's side. Nothing will be able to live long term against Electabuzz plus Coletta and spikes. And I think they're not having rapid spin just really hurts the team. That like those two are amazing
Also,
by themselves.
I would also like to say something as well about this team is that there's a lot of multi types, especially with the fire, water, electric. Like, there's a lot of weaknesses stacking up on top of that. Like, I mean, it's not bad, but like three electric types, and obviously yes, one of them is a terror type as well. But even if you just terror your ghastly, like you still have mons that are still extremely weak to ground,
Hmm.
You
and
see, I think about that
what?
is all the types that you doubled up on. The weaknesses
Mm-hmm.
are could and resist, and that's one of the bulkiest Pokemon in the format. I don't think
Yeah.
that's an issue for most types. The only one being rock. The team is on a few rock weaknesses.
Yep.
Like they're not the worst. They're not the Pokemon that are coming to games all the time anyway.
But at the same time,
Yeah,
having
no,
that
I
rock
don't.
weakness and bad removal, or not bad removal, but not wanting to remove hazards if you're setting up your own spikes, having to leave rocks up on your side of the field could be a problem.
Yeah.
Except for Electabuzz doesn't just win games on the spot anyway.
True.
Yeah, especially with like holding an Eviolite and everything. I think it
You
learns
get that thing
Curse. I
choice
don't
back.
know.
That's bulky enough as is.
Yeah. Well, either like Specs, Choice Band, like one of those are, or Life Orb even like
Yeah, because this
just
thing gets
any type
knockoff.
of like
Electabuzz and Magmar have knockoff. That's insane.
yeah. I think honestly like running like Mix Band or Specs or whatever each week on the Mon, depending on the matchup, is actually like really good, and you can obviously let off like a lot of power, especially with a Timber on the team as well.
Hmm.
He's really strong.
And
That guy
Ghastly,
takes
sorry.
damage every time they come to
All right.
All
Well,
right,
we'll move
I
on
guess
to
we
the
can move on
our
to
top two.
yeah.
Number two, take it away.
me.
You're here with us.
Alright, guys, so listen up. I made a mistake. I drafted Magneton because that guy smoked me, man. And there was the obviously much more broken Electabuzz and Magmar on the board. But listen, man, this guy feels insane. I don't know what to tell you. 120 base attack, special attack, boosted by analytics. There are no switches to Magneton. Just as there are no switches to Magmar and Electabuzz. But you guys suck because this is my team.
Yeah. So, um, well, the things I had going into here is no removal. It could be definitely be a problem, especially
The
with
removal. I have War Totem.
you have what?
Rapid spin on War Totem.
Oh my
Oh
god,
yeah,
this
I don't
I don't
know
know
why
why
it's
this
not
doc doesn't
showing
want to show
up.
it. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah,
War Turtle is actually a great
very
rapid
annoying.
spinner. So I was assuming these things were correct on the right over here, but clearly they're not.
There we go.
He's
Okay, I fixed it.
Okay. Anyways,
Was he
War Turtle is a
broken?
great rapid spinner, so that's good. Then, however, another thing I put down was again. I think this one maybe actually no, it's not accurate either. I was gonna say no knockoff, but Grimer definitely gets knockoff.
Timer does not
Okay,
actually,
yeah.
no.
It doesn't?
That's only
Just
a mark
Muck?
thing.
Oh, okay.
Timer
So then, again, then the lack of
I
knockoff
do
could be a
not.
problem with a lot of EVLites going around. Obviously, only two per team, but still. Um,
You guys can't knock off mine either. I have sticky hold on Gratdomus.
but the other
Knock
thing I
off that.
wrote down. So the things I did like is a strong offensive core. Magneton obviously super strong. Grotto is actually really strong too, and Braxton really strong.
Yeah.
On top of a pretty good defensive core. Like Magneton can be defensive if it needs to be. It's got really good bulk. War Turtle really good bulk. Cosmoem is there, but Cosmoem's not really a Pokemon. Let's be
That's
honest.
a need. And somebody's going to get me. Don't ask questions.
Oh,
I
I
didn't
would
roast
also like to
anybody
say
else's
that
shit.
he has a Impid, which also can set up the screens to also help with the bulky core.
Yeah, Impidimp is really good. I was
I
gonna
got
draft it.
my
He didn't.
Shell Smash. I got two Shell Smash guys. You want to talk about that?
You do. Yeah. I mean,
No, no, no. We
they.
don't. We don't need to because we already know what they do.
Listen, your
Yeah,
Mirror Herb guy has to be able to check Grotto and Terra War Turtle.
but the thing is, like, they don't have to shell smash. I think is the big thing, right? They are good without it
Mm-hmm.
too. Like they're versatile enough where they don't just click. It's not like like a cloister. Like obviously it was NFE, but like how cloister really the only thing it can do is click shell smash if it wants to do any kind of damage.
Look at that. It's good for
Yeah.
this gen.
Yeah, but so yeah, I think especially in the NFE like this, where they can do all kinds of things and not just come in click shell smash. Everybody knows it's what's gonna happen. Yeah, Grottle is really bulky, even without an Eviolite. Like 85 defense and 65 special defense is fine, but with still 75 HP, like super bulky. War Turtle, 80 defense and special defense, super bulky. Like they could pivot out, things like that. Like they don't have to just sit there and be the shell smash button. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I got good momentum on it. Like,
I mean, it
nothing.
though those two mons, especially plus the Magneton, is obviously going to be a very scary prep for like each week. Those three mons are always going to
Don't
be
forget
a
my
threat.
Braceman. He's there.
Okay,
90 base
okay, yes,
special.
yeah. Breakson is there too. You have to worry about those mons in each prep, especially with the impedip. I don't know if I said that correctly, but like screens, two shell smashers. I guess you can say a calm minder too, and a choice specs mon or whatever. Like that mon can just do things, and this team mostly as well. Oh, and especially forgot to mention webs.
Yep.
That's
I
also an
do got
issue.
web. Bobby, two of the 90 base speed guys that I don't have. You guys don't have movement. I'm boost on everything now.
Um, I
Yeah.
I guess that concludes Drew's team, and we
Go
can
to
go to
Now
the
let's
number one
roast the
spot.
the number.
let's roast the guy who got the tier 3 dust clubs. That's not
Okay,
illegal.
first of all, we all like to say this. Dusclops was in fact a mistake, and it cannot hold Eviolite or obviously Terra.
Yeah.
It
So,
was supposed to
Because it was a
be,
mistake.
yes, it was a mistake.
however, they did allow me to keep it because I kind of planned my whole draft around it. So they
And
were
it's
nice
a
enough to let me keep it with uh the caveat that it can't hold a Eviolite because it's already insanely bulky, and it can't Terra because the Terra rules were basically tier 3 and below. So they decided don't. It's not going to be able to Terra, and it's not going to be able to hold the Eviolite, but it's still very good even without those
mm-hmm.
things.
Oh, I do still have issues with this. Number one on the
Okay,
fact that it has 3 broken Pokemon. But this team is a team that
yeah.
struggles with hazards, first of all.
Yep.
It has a Magmar
Why?
in it. So you really want to keep the rocks away. And all
Yep.
you really have for is tier 5 not so good Pokemon.
Right.
Uh, struggles into bulky waters.
Yep.
Not many Pokemon like, on this team want to switch into them or beat them in general, have a recovery form.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, ground weakness. There is switching is once again just a ducklet.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair
Yeah.
on that respect, there's a Slowpoke who probably beat Dusclops, obviously, but there's no just straight up resist. So maybe the boosted Crocodile just quick the choice band earthquake Matsu.
I would also like to say something about this team as well is that, like we said, mostly about half the other teams, it's lacking removal, especially for yourself. That you have four rockers and then you have a defogger. So it's technically that if you want spikes up, like you're gonna have to get rid of them most of the time if they're on your side.
There's no spikes on
Which
this.
yeah, there's no spikes, no toxic spikes, no webs or anything. And another thing as well is that you're lacking momentum. You only have a U-turn mon, and I guess Snowscape, which is like you don't see much people use, but
Snowscape is not.
I mean it's
Uh.
Early reception, and Slowpoke doesn't get it.
oh wait, it's chili reception.
Yeah.
My
And
bad.
neither of them get it.
Slowpoke does
Um
not have pivoting. It does not have teleport. It does not have
yeah.
pivoting.
Okay, but you wait, does Jiggly
It gets
get
baton
teleport? I think
pass. I think
Gets
it's
baton.
both. I
yeah.
think it does get
Well,
teleport.
yeah, but still it's lacking a lot of momentum, especially for the the mons that can easily set up, I guess, or get in to do enough damage towards it.
Yep.
Do you think that Influent Dunsparce is enough? Like this team is bulky.
Y-
It doesn't have Pokemon that like need to help getting in. Magmar is bulky attack. Dusclops is bulky attack. Skinny is like the one thing, but that thing just comes in when it's ready to sleep after a kill. So like, I don't think it's
Yeah,
too bad on it.
this team mostly just brings I guess somewhat like same six, same seven almost like the entire season. Like it literally goes top three always, and then whatever mon helps you with the rest of the game. I guess mostly because
Yeah,
just
because
the top three is just everything, and I guess Dunsparce with
Magmar,
Curry or
Dusclops,
whatever.
and
It's just
Dunsparce
like
in just about any
huh.
game. Magmar, Dusclops, and Dunsparce win just about
Oh
every game.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm supposed to tell you guys. He's
I
this
guess
guy has like
that's
five Q1
mostly it
vocals.
with yeah, just very heavy core. All right.
I think that'll
I guess
wrap it
that
up.
concludes. Yeah, I guess that concludes the PRs, and we can also head towards the matchup center to talk about weekly games as well.